Hi everyone, I'm Rebaz. In this tutorial, I'll show you how to create a simple to-do application using Swiftybase. The application is something like that. You can sign up, or if you don't have a sign up and create an account. For example, we already have an account. We log in. This will open the main application. It will show all your to-do that you have. You can create new to-do, and this will send the data to your backend, and you receive changes using SSE endpoint. For example, if you're going to duplicate this tab and add new data, we get this data, and we can see already we get this data over SSE, and we can edit, we can delete everything we can do. Uh, if we go into the API, we can see multiple endpoint. For example, we have endpoint for create, update, delete, and we also have an endpoint for getting the to-do for the first time when the application open it, and later it receive changes over to-do change. This is an SSE endpoint, server-side send event. And we also have main application to do app is that just returning a simple HTML that render it in this view. And we're going to before showing how this endpoint work, let me show you some utility functions that you see inside this endpoint. If we go into function to do, the first thing is a to do type is function. This function is just creating some type and export so that the endpoint can be used. For example, we have a to-do request. This to-do request is a structure with a title and description. The client sends data in this structure, and we get that in a backend. And we added a function. We attach this function to this structure, which is validate to-do request that automatically validates the structure when the data pairs it by doing, for example, checking if the length is minimum 1 character and maximum 255. And also we have a response type. This type is used to return data to the client. For example, we have a generic API result which contain three fields: success, data, and error. And based on the on your response, you fill this data. And we have to do event. This is a generic which contains a type of the event and the data. We also created the structure for create, modify, and deleted to do, so that we can push this event over SSE, and we can see ID, title, description, and created at. We also have one extra structure, which is same, but we define it especially for returning the list of to do. Okay, now if we're going to do setup, this function is used to set up your database and SSE publisher when the application is started, when the application for the first time is running. For example, if we're going to server hook, we can see on any server we have a hook that we call to do setup. This function only run once when the application start. And if you see this function, we just connect to the MySQL database and Redis, and we register this connection and Redis. For example, we register the MySQL database when we connect it to in a global as a to-do DB, and we also connect into Redis database and created and also created a SSE publisher. This publisher uses Redis to broadcast changes or events to multiple clients. Then after that publisher we created, we use precondition to return early if any error happens. It will return some error. And we also after that we register the publisher as a Todo DB publisher. Later we use this key to do the publisher to get access to this instance, and then we start the publisher. And before going to endpoint, let me show the Todo auth checker. This function is it's like a utility. We can use it as a middleware or call it from other endpoint. Because we only use it for the login, we directly call it. We could also add it as a middleware. What the function is doing is just getting the authorization token. We just use Supabase or token, and when we pass to in the HTTP header, we get from the backend, and if there is no header, we send and authorize it. We return early, and we also remove the bearer token, and we decode this token so that we can access in the payload data. You can get your key in your Supabase setting, and we also after that we check the condition, check the payload to see if there's the decoding is correct and has no error. After that, we extract the ID and the payload of the decoded token and store in the context that will be accessible inside the API handler. And let me go to, for example, login endpoint. In this endpoint, what we do calls a function to do type. This allow us to access the exported type that this function is exported, and we can see this function exports this type and it is accessible inside this endpoint. We can use it, and we call to do auth checker. This will return if everything is correct, this will return and the next function executed. For example, in here we get the user ID that we injected as a user ID key. This is a context key, and the type is string, so we get both of that. And later we create email. This email, because the email is inside in the payload, and the payload is a map of string of any, so the value of the email is any type. What we do is we pipe. The pipe is a way to convert this input to something else. When we click this pipe, it shows as a pipe, and we pipe the value of this user payload.email. We can use this user payload, and we know that there's one property email inside this payload, and we force unwrap it, and when you click on that, this is how it works. Then we use a pipe, and this is a pipe accessible inside this, call it p-value, and we use it toString function to convert the value to string, and after that we return this value. And for the email, we for the username, we use it user email to get the name of the user. For example, we're going to user email and pipe. We use it the split function to split by as character, and then using the first part of the split to get the name of the user. After that, we use MySQL execute function to insert the user not already exist by doing this query, and we also pass the value that needed as a literal. For example, we use $sign user ID, username, and user email. This will create a list with this value dynamically. Ensure it's an argument as a literal is check it. And after that, if you remember, we store the database as a Todo DB. You need to use the same key in order to find the database. If you don't provide any value, this will be default MySQL DB. Okay, now if you're going to after this function executed, it return a new user result as a result. So if you're going to here, you can see it's a result of SQL result. We use precondition to simplify the checking condition and return any error if happen as an internal server error. And later we use cookie, and we store a new cookie, name it user cookie, and the value is user ID. It contains just user ID, and save it. And we initiate the API result. This API result, we create an instance of the API result type that we created in the to-do types function. If you see, we have API result type. It is created from there, and because we call this function, we have access to this exported function, and we fill this data. For example, we success true, and data is a user ID we get, and error, we don't have any error. And later we use a return response function with a response type of a struct, this struct that we created, and provided the result. Now the login endpoint is complete, so let's check one endpoint that's require authentication. For example, to do me, this endpoint call it for the first time. The application is loaded to ensure the user authenticated or not. So this is the same call to the type, and we use get cookie. This function, it gets a cookie from the request and the name of the cookie, user cookie, and we check if the cookie is empty. If it's empty, we initiate an API result with successful and the error, please log into your account, and return as a response. Otherwise, we return true and the ID of the user as a response. Now, if you're going to to-do list, to-do list returns a list of to-dos as a user has. For example, we access the get this function because we use cookie. We have to check if the cookie exists, and if not exists, reject the request, because this endpoint require authentication. If we see, we can in the pre-middleware, before this API executed, we have a pre-middleware, and this pre-middleware is named to do cookie middleware. And if we're going to see inside the function to do, we have this middleware. This middleware is just check the cookie if not empty, and if it exists, if the cookie is valid, it returns the cookie, and not empty, and if not, it will reject the request. Otherwise, we get the cookie which is contains the user ID, and we inject this user ID into the context so that the API endpoint can access it. And this and the context key is a user ID key, and the value will be the user ID coming from the cookie. And so we're going to back to-do list. We use it a pre-middleware so that before this API handler call it, the middleware will call it and inject the user ID so that we can inside the endpoint access to the context, and we use get context value function, and we store the result as a user ID, and the context is a user ID key, and we cast the type to string. After that, we just use a simple query, which is selecting ID, title, description, and created out from the to-do list, where user ID is a user ID we get from the context. Here's the user ID we created using as a literal, and we need to map this data to a model so that we can return to the client for the front end application. What we do, because we use to do types function, we have a to do item. This type in here, we can select that, and we inside the query we define four field: ID, title, description, and created that. So we have to map this four field to the field defined inside this to do item. If you can see, we have ID, title. Okay, so how we do, we just we inside the field mapper we define the name of the field inside the struct. For example, ID, title, description, created at as the same order as we define inside the query, and we expect 10 is just a value. You can base it on your query, and we database to do DB and save, and we use precondition to check the error and return early. After that, we just fill the API result with true, and the data, which is you can see at the return to do result as a result, because we use it precondition before the initiate struct. If there's any error, it will return early and return a response. So we now there's no error. We use to do result and the data which is a list to do, and but we want to force unwrap the result because we already know that the result is exist. We can use exclamation mark, and that we unwrap the result and save, and later we just return the response. So that's how it works. If we see the create endpoint, we can see first we define a field that we need to get from the front end. This is a post endpoint, so we define inside the body. We have a field to do, and this field we also the type is a to do request. This to do request is a types that we created from this function to do types, and we use this type, and it automatically pairs the data to this type and validate if that's valid, and run your validation that you define it. For example, if you're going to runner, we can see we need to send the data to backend in this way. And after that, this is just getting type, and we get a publisher to publish changes to client using SSE. The first thing we have to get the user ID, and then later we create a new to-do by creating using insert into to-do list, providing the data, and we have created a list literal using $, user ID, request title, request description, and later we use precondition to check if any error happened, then create a get runtime, and we created event created. This is to do created type is that's a type we created inside to do types function, and we fill this with the data we have it. So we get the new ID from new ID of the to do by using insert result. It returns the last insert ID, so we can go into select it and last insert ID and force unwrap the value, which is int 44, and we also have access to the request via request title and request description and provide the date. Now we create an event. This event is creation, so we created the type to do created event and the data that we want to pass to SSC, which is event we created. Now we use get to do channel with just return a channel. We provide the user ID to this function and return a channel name that use it to publish changes to this user, so that any users so that each user gets data of their account. And we use publish SSE, providing the type is a message, and the data is the event that we created, and the channel of this we get from here channel, and providing the publisher. This will broadcast the event to any connected client using this channel and this publisher. And we also return the API result, returning the ID of the new to-do. This is how it works, and for the update it's the same. We just have ID of the to-do that we want to update. This ID comes from the path, and the tag is the ID. You can see we semicolon ID, and the type is int 44. This is already validated, and we can't send invalid data. For example, we need to pass some data, and inside the body you have to provide to do with a title and description. We use a simple query to update this to do for the user, and we create a modified event, and after that we publish this event over the channel, so that user can receive it and react to changes. The same thing happen for delete and get, which we can get simple to do by ID. And the last endpoint that I think to do change is called inside the front end when the application starts. This endpoint provide you a real-time changes of the to-do. It just get a user ID, and this is a channel name. We set the access control, and this function we have to upgrade the connection to SSE so that we can receive SSE's events, and we check the result of upgrade. If there's any error, it will return back to the client. Otherwise, we send a welcome message specifically to this connection using send SSE, and we register the SSE that returning by from upgrade to SSE, and we force unwrap it because we already checked it for the error. We just going to here and force unwrap, and provide the channel name and the publisher. This will register this connection into this channel using this publisher, and we then have a loop that sleep for 20 seconds and check is this connection still active or not, and if not active it will close and remove the uh, connection. And we also I think the last endpoint uh, is a to-do app, which is just returning a simple HTML application. If you go into here, this application, we have a login forum, we have a sign up forum, and this we use a Supabase client. We Supabase OS to use as well as authentication. And when the application is start, we just call to do me. If the user is already login, it will be okay and call login success. Otherwise, we show the login forum. And it's the same way we use, for example, here we use Supabase client sign up, providing the email and password, and if success, it will send confirmation emails, and later you can log into your account using sign with password, email and password. And after that, we call to do login. This endpoint passing the token to the backend, and if that's okay, we create a cookie for you so that you don't need to pass a username, email, and password again. And later, this is a to-do create. We just provide to-do with a title and description, but we don't modify the all to do. If you see, we have all to do that rendered inside the application. This is all to do. But when we create here, and when we create here, we don't add to this array. This script is written by ChatGPT. We just add it and we call the API without modifying the data locally. What we do, we listen to the connection to do change. We fetch to do change, and we get the data, get the SSE event, and based on the event type, that's handle to do event. If the event is to do created, we add the to do. If the event modified, we find the to do by ID and modify the data. And if the deleted, it will delete the data. So that's how it works. If you, for example, here we can see connected. This will add, for example, a create to do. This will send the data, and we get the data over SSE. And if we make new change, like if it has, so each type has its own connection, so it will add every type will receive the same data. So that's how it works, and hopefully you learn something. And if you have any question, just comment out, and see you in the next video. Thank you.